The family of a terminally ill Brisbane man is fighting for permission to bring his 4 children over the state border to see him one last time, after initially being told only one of his kids would be allowed into Queensland. 39-year-old Mark Keans has inoperable cancer and is not expected to live until Christmas. His 4 children live in Sydney and his extended family are in Port Macquarie, so all of them are in New South Wales. But the border between the neighbouring states is locked down due to COVID. It comes as Hollywood star Tom Hanks was granted an exemption this week to self-isolate at a private hotel. AFL players, along with their families, have also been granted exemptions to self-isolate together at a private hotel in preparation for next month's grand final. Mark's sister, Tamara Langborne, says a month after applying for an exemption, they've had no decision from the Queensland government, just the initial suggestion from officials to choose one of the 4 children to visit their dying father.
We were told we were being selfish because we were putting other cancer patients at risk. So my brother isn't in a cancer ward at the moment. He's actually at home with care at home. So we're really unsure about that.
But you were told at one point that only one of his 4 children would be able to visit him.
Yeah, so they'd pick one child up at the border and drive them to my brother, and they'd be given an hour and then return back to the border.
What did you think of that?
It's horrendous. Like, as an adult, we can choose who can go, but how do you choose out of a child? Like, they're going to grow up thinking the 3 that didn't get chosen, like, why didn't I get to say goodbye? Like, there'd be resentment when they get older. The questions that one child would have it's emotional, and they wouldn't have their support system there. It's too much for kids to go by themselves.
So how is he doing at the moment?
He's having rough days. He's trying to be tough. He's trying to act like he's doing better than he is because we are so far away and he doesn't want to worry us. But because the cancer's in his bones, especially his spine and his diaphragm, have become really brittle and are starting to chip away. So he's not doing the best, but he's trying to fight because he does want to see his kids, and that's his last wish before he passes away.
So there are, quite a few family members, aren't there, in and around Sydney. What do you want to do, given that he is in Queensland? What is your wish? How would you do it?
Well, we'd all like to go and say goodbye, so we've offered to quarantine together before we go and get COVID tested until we get our results back. We cannot fly it due to my mother, but we are looking at hiring a van and all travelling up together, so there's no risk of too many people and too many vehicles going all up at once. We've offered to quarantine, we've offered to do everything, but there's still lots of questions that we don't understand.
Even if you go into quarantine, has the Queensland government given you permission to visit your brother with the whole family and all his children? If you quarantine for 4 weeks, will they let you do, for 2 weeks, will they let you do that?
So we haven't been accepted for anything yet. They're still questioning, and they've only just opened up my application today.
So how long ago did you make that application?
About a month.
I'm imagining this is a time-important situation. Do you have time? It
really is. We don't. So originally we thought we had a bit of time until they actually did a lot more scans and worked out that it was a lot more severe than what they originally thought. So now with how things are failing and where all the cancer is, he doesn't have as much as he was originally told.
Do you have the time, does Mark have the time for you all to be in quarantine?
We can't honestly answer that. We want to say yes, but with how his body's reacting, we can't be sure he does.
When was the last time he got to see his kids?
Just over a year ago. So it's been quite a while.
So tell us a little bit about them. There's 4 of them.
Yeah, so we have Noah, who's the oldest, and he's quite a smart boy. He's funny. We have Katie and Caleb, who are the twins in the middle, and it's actually their birthday today. They've just turned 11 today. They were both preemie babies, really early preemie, so they've been through quite a lot in their life already. And we have Isaac, who's 7, and he loves dancing and singing and being cheeky.
And I'm not making light of this when I say this, Tamara, but if I presented you with this scenario, okay, you've just told us about those 4 children, choose one to see their father. What kind of burden would that place on you?
I couldn't do it. Like, who could you send? Would you send the oldest one because they're the most mature? Or do you send the younger ones because they need that bit more time with their father? But they don't quite understand cancer. They know that he's about to die, but they don't understand why or how that's happening. And you couldn't send one without the other.
Tamara, is your family being treated, well, consistently? Is Queensland being consistent in this? What about sports people and Hollywood stars and the likes? Are you all getting treated the same?
Oh, that's a definite no. I did receive 2 phone calls prior from Queensland Health telling me that basically my application's useless, that it's most likely going to get rejected anyway, and that I really need to think about it before I keep going with it. So for 2 phone calls for that, and then to see all these people getting in there with massive amount of families and whoever they want just because they have a name or they have money, it really hurts. And it's not just for me, that's seeing all these other families as well that are going through this.
So you're referring there, to some of the Hollywood actors who have managed seemingly to get over the border?
Yes, as well as the AFL people. For the grand final, they can all go up with all their families and sit by the pool and have a jolly good time. Where if we get given the chance, we're going to say goodbye to someone. It's not going to be a great time.
What kind of support are you getting from local politicians or within your community? Is anyone lobbying on your behalf?
Our locals have been absolutely amazing. The second we emailed them, we had phone calls, we've had emails, they've keeping in contact. They've been fighting for us since the second we got in contact with them. So our local parliament and our local people have just backed us 100%.
What would you say to Anastasia Palaszczuk if you had the chance?
Give Australians a break. Like, we understand that coronavirus is such a big thing. I mean, I understand border restrictions, but this is something that we'll never get back. Like, you can do a grand final again, you can do whatever you want with those things, but you can never see that person for the last time. And especially for their kids, they won't get that chance, and that's with them for the rest of their life.
That was Tamara Langborne talking there.